welcome back to my channel. Today I did a drugstore dupe or dud video. Basically things that people have said are dupes for higher end things, and some along the way are things that I was just curious about. So I am going to tell you guys, test them out and let you know, is it worth spending the extra money on the higher end? Or maybe you should save a few dollars. If you'd like to see what these items are, just keep watching. The very first thing I thought of when I wanted to do this video was the Miracle Complexion Sponge from Real Techniques. And the reason why I thought of this was because I get asked a lot if this sponge is comparable to the Beauty Blender, and I love the Beauty Blender. That's the only one I've ever used sponge-wise, so I can't give my own informed opinion on it. So I decided I needed to have an opinion on this sponge. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this. Right away, I noticed that this is very thick and it's hard to squeeze, whereas this is like, it's so easy and it's much softer. So I'm really having to put effort into that, where it's like, if I did the same thing on each, that's what happens. So I'm going to go get this wet and see if that changes at all, but I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not, but I don't like how hard it is. So I'm gonna get this wet and see what happens, and I'll be right back. Just like the Beauty Blender, it did get bigger. It did get a little bit softer, but still, it doesn't feel like the Beauty Blender. I don't know if I expected it to or what, but it is softer now that it's wet, but still not as squishy as what the original Beauty Blender is. So what I'm going to do is get one of my foundations and put this guy to the test. I'm going to use my Kogendo Aqua Foundation and pump this on my Petri dish. I'm running out of this, guys. So this one has like, almost like the egg was like cut off. So I'm gonna try this side first, and I see a lot of people swiping, and that's great, especially if you have really smooth skin. Now, I don't like that method for one big reason, and because of my pores. Now, if I take something and I swipe, like think about, like if you ever tried to fill a hole, and you swiped it, it would have like this gap right up here, and it wouldn't fill the hole very well. So I find that pushing the product in makes the pores look a little smoother, and you do get more coverage by pouncing. However, I control that with the foundation. So if I want lighter coverage, I use a lighter cover foundation. If I want more coverage, I go with more coverage. So just to each their own. I'm going to use this how I would the Beauty Blender. So I'm just going to dot this on. I do already have like my typical primers and everything already on my face. I just didn't think it was necessary for the video. It feels good to tap on for sure. It's very comfortable. Up here, I think I will swipe. This particular sponge, I feel like it lays down a little bit, the product a little heavier. Maybe that's just me. I just got a paper towel and got any extra foundation off of this to pick up some of the excess on my skin. It is laying down the foundation really, really nicely. So I've got the foundation on, and I gotta tell you, like, I don't think I would have noticed a difference had I used my normal Beauty Blender on the opposite side. Like, this looks really, really good. Yeah, so I'm gonna flip this side over, and I'm gonna use this underneath my eye. I'm gonna put my concealer on first though, obviously. So I'm using the, I'm using the freaking, I almost said it again. I keep wanting to call it NARS. I think it's because it's naked. I don't know. And everybody seems to be going back to the NARS one. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. Yeah, it's not NARS. I don't know why I keep doing that. It's driving me nuts. So I'm going to take the opposite end and blend in my concealer. I do like the end of the Beauty Blender a little bit better because it's smaller. So I feel like I can get underneath the eye a little bit better, but this isn't bad. Like, it's not an issue. It's just something to notice or to note. Completely skipped out on my nose for whatever reason. So we'll just add some there. I'm gonna dip it into my Hourglass powder and set everything. I'm kind of blown away. Like, I really had it in my head that I was going to hate this sponge. I think it's just because I've used the Beauty Blender for so long that I didn't think I could possibly like anything else. And I don't know, like, I'm impressed. I'm gonna finish off powdering my face and then we're going to test product number 2. Product number 2 is this butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. I saw Kathleen Lights talking about this and I was like, huh, it looks kind of like that jelly formula, and which reminded me of the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. So I thought I would grab this and see if it is. I haven't even opened this and I can already smell it. So, whew, that smells like you're at the beach and you've got tanning oil all up on you. If you are sensitive to smell, you will not like this. I mean, it smells good, but it smells really intense. So yeah. And if it matters, I got the light bronzer. So I'm telling you, this is in my nose right now. I'm gonna grab my Marc Jacobs bronze brush. I'm gonna grab this on here and pop this on. Not a lot of color coming with this. I'm telling you that the smell is so intense. I feel like I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm not even smell sensitive really. Like, this is intense. I'm gonna have to wash this brush whenever I'm done. I do really like the color though. Like, the color is really pretty once you build it up a little bit, which is nice to have a bronzer that you can build up instead of it being like, bam, you are orange, you're an Oompa Loompa, and you are like that for the rest of the day. Whew, I just gotta get over the smell. Let's touch this guy. Touching this one. I'm gonna take the Pro Bronze Fusion. This one feels a little drier than the other, but the finish that it gives, they're very similar. I can still smell it though. Like, it's not one of those products that I'm putting on my face and then all of a sudden I don't smell it anymore. Like, I still smell it. So pros, I like the color. It is not intense. You would have to build this up to actually get some color, and I am not dark by any means right now, but I think there's 2 different shades. Again, I got the light one. The finish on it is really nice. I don't think that they are necessarily dupes for one another, but I think they're comparable. Like, if you didn't have the money for this guy, this is good if you can get over the smell. I'm still not sure if I can get over the smell. The next thing I grabbed was the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. So people say that this is an exact dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and that Brow Wiz was like my favorite thing for a long time. I've moved on to the definer now, but I still have the Brow Wiz, so I can tell you if this is the same. I got the shade in brunette because it looked really dark on the top. They didn't have any testers, obviously, so I'm just gonna check this one out. So here I have the Brow Wiz, and here is the Micro Brow Pencil. They are just about the same, like, that's just about the same size. So at the top, let's see. I'm gonna twist up my Brow Wiz. Those appear to be like the same size. So I would say that the pencil lead in here, same size. The spoolies, on the other hand, are very similar, but I love the spoolie on the Brow Wiz. Like, I wish it was on the definer because this is the best spoolie in the entire world. It's so small and so close together. This one, the bristles, is separated a little bit more further apart. So I'm going to try this on my brows and see how it goes. Okay, here goes nothing. So I'm going to spoolie my brows up, take a deep breath, and cross your fingers. So I'm going to go in little strokes. Okay, so this is definitely drier. I feel like I have to press down a little harder, but it does give a nice thin line. And this brow pencil is red. It's red. I'm not gonna fall. Oh my god, it's so red. Oh, let's see. It doesn't look that red on my hand, but it really looks red on my brows. Okay, I'm not gonna fault the color. I'm just gonna, because I'm sure they have a better color for me, I'm just gonna use the pencil and see how it goes. Thankfully, I don't have to go anywhere today because in person, yeah, it's gonna be like my, oh, yeah. You can really see it close up. I don't think I can see it in the viewfinder, but yeah. I think that if this was a better color, it would be even better. I'm, again, a little bit impressed with this guy. So I'm going to do my other brow off camera, and then I'll come back to give you my little thoughts and tidbits. Okay, so let's talk about some pros and cons about this. First off, the biggest con for me is the fact that the color is too red in my brows. It's not really that red. I think it's just the fact that my brow hairs are actually black. And this just, you can see it so much. So when I try to do the single brow hair strokes, it doesn't mesh so well, so I have to almost fill them in because otherwise you can see like brown strokes versus black strokes. So if this was the right color, I would think it's almost a dead-on dupe for the Brow Wiz. Like, holy crap, impressed. So if I had the better color, I would buy this. And, well, but one other thing, if I didn't become so obsessed with the brow definer, because I feel like this took forever, and the Brow Wiz does too, but I don't use the Brow Wiz anymore. I use the definer. So, but if I did still use the Wiz, I would do this, and I might actually try to find my color so that when I need to fill in a random spot that the definer is a little too big, or if I like to, sometimes I still go in with the Brow Wiz. So if I find a very perfect match, I would actually buy this again. So impressed, just the wrong color. So I have one last product for you, and this is probably the biggest deal to me because if you know me or you know my channel, the MAC Prep and Prime Lip Primer is my favorite thing. Like, I use it every single day. I love that thing, and NYX has come out with a lip primer. Now, I've heard people say that this is amazing. Now, no one has compared it to the MAC one. However, me thinking that I'm like the lip primer connoisseur, like I know what it should feel like, I thought that I should give this a shot. So I'm going to open this up, and what I'm going to do is put this on like I normally would with my MAC one. Then go finish my face, give this time to set up, and then I'm going to put a liquid lipstick on top. Got high hopes for this thing. No scent, so that's good. It does not feel like the MAC one at all. So I've got it on, and I'm going to go do what I said I was going to do, and I will be back, and we will try out the liquid lipstick on top. I decided to be an Easter egg but you know, whatevs, it is that time of year. So anywho, I'm going to put on a liquid lipstick, and I'm going to use the Baci from Stila. Now, I will say this feels very different than what my MAC one does. This one feels a little bit more waxy. Still feels okay, but I'm kind of wondering how it's going to do under something like this. So I'm going to pop this guy on. Okay, so now what I plan on doing is leaving this on for a few hours, seeing how long it feels good underneath this liquid lipstick before I give you guys my 2 cents. So I will be back, and if the lighting changes and whatnot, that is why, so just bear with me. I just don't want to tell you guys something and then like change my mind later, but I will be back to tell you guys about this and my final thoughts on all of the products I mentioned. The verdict is in, so I'm going to start with the lip primer, and I will say that I do like this. I don't like it as much as this, and I wouldn't consider it a dupe just because the textures are very, very different, but they do the same thing essentially. But I find that this one, the MAC one, is a little bit more hydrating on the lips and a little bit more comfortable. But this is actually really good. So I say if you don't want to spend the $16 on this, go for the cheaper one. And I will have all the prices, like comparisons, listed down below, just so you know. Real Technique sponge versus the Beauty Blender. I am surprised to say that given that this lasts a while, because I can't tell you if it lasts a while, I can see myself switching over to this and saving 10 bucks a sponge if it lasts a while. So I am curious to see if this guy tears up in a month or if it stands for the long haul. If it stands for the long haul, I can see myself starting to buy this instead of spending the extra on this. Very, very surprised by this. They are different, but they apply pretty much the same. I can still smell this on my face. I can, yeah, still smell this on my face. But I will say I love the color of this. I don't think it's a dupe. It's not a dupe, but it is a good product if you can get over the smell. I like the color of this. I like that it's not so intense and I can kind of build it up or wear it softly. I feel like it's very smooth. It blends out very well. It's just super, super, super duper intense in fragrance. Now, to me, the NYX Micro Brow is the closest dupe of all of them. This is pretty much a dead-on ringer, just about. You really can't get any closer. It's just the color that I didn't like with this guy and the fact that I'm obsessed with my brow definer. But if you're a Brow Wiz lover, I actually strongly suggest you check this out because I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it. So this is a good one. An extra product for you guys, I have been testing this out, and I know it's not a dupe, but I wanted to throw it in this video just because it is drugstore. I guess it's a dupe for a primer, really, if you want to call it that. So I'm going to tell you guys that if you have perfect skin, no flaws, aren't particularly oily or aren't particularly dry, that this is going to be good for you. I didn't have any issues with it, but I still needed like a smoothing primer, and you know, it's just, I also use MAC softening lotion and it kind of has the same kind of aspect to it. So, but the MAC softening lotion is skincare and this is not. So it did make my makeup last all day, had no issues with that. I didn't get particularly shiny or anything with it. However, just not impressed. I'm kind of like, meh, whatever. I used it a few times and yeah. Whatever. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do me a favor. If you would like to see more of these, if there's products that you guys know of that you want to know, are these dupes? Are these the real deal? Please let me know down below. I would actually enjoy doing another one of these to see if they hold true to the real thing. So let me know down below, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.